बैठ के ओम शांति बोलते हैं तो हर एक का चेहरा ऐसा लगता है मुख से क्या बोले, शांति, प्रेम, खुशी, शक्ति चारों इकट्ठी दिखाई पड़ती है। सबका चेहरा बताता है शांति, प्रेम, खुशी, शक्ति। हाँ, चारों का आपस में बड़ा प्यार है। अभी कितनी बातें सुनाऊं, मेरे दिल में बातें बहुत भी होती है, स्पष्ट भी है, सार भी है। स्पष्ट भी है, हर बात स्पष्ट है, और सार भी है। समझ रहे हो ना? स्पष्ट होने से कभी डाउट नहीं उठा है, उठा ही नहीं, पता अक्ल ही नहीं डाउट का, अक्ल नहीं है तो निश्चय मजबूत हो गया है। समझ रहे हो? निश्चय मजबूत है तो अडोल अचल स्थिति बनाना, जैसे भगवान ने कहा है तुम ये भाग्य तुम्हारे हाथों में है। मैं आपकी जगह पर तो ऐसे गिनती करती हूँ। मैं ऐसे किया था, छिपके छिपके, नोट्स नहीं के अभी लिया होगा। अडोल, पहले अडोल, जल्दी डोलायमान न होवे, निश्चय न संशय डोलायमान करता है और हिलाने लग पड़ता है। हाँ, पर एक तो हिलते हैं, फिर चलायमान होते तो बाकी भी लड्डू बन जाते, जैसे रेती के लड्डू। वो नहीं जो लड्डू हमको खिला भंडारे से मिलता है, वो लड्डू बड़ा वंडरफुल है। जो भंडारे में बापा लड्डू खिलाता है वो लड्डू पावरफुल है। पर डोलायमान और चलायमान वाले की इस लड्डू जैसे ऐसे मिनट में ऐसे बोर हो जाते हैं, रेती के लड्डू। उस सेकंड में, मिनट में ऐसे 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 हो जाएंगे।
Shanti, welcome to Vyakti Parivar, Murli, source of truth, remembrance, intellect, pilgrimage. So as today is Saturday, we had silence party, and now we will be listening to Mohini Didi, and then our dear brother Ken will be coming on and will be helping us with tomorrow's Murli points, the practice point. And then, as today's our Avakti journey is our interview question answer, so our dear brother Eric will be with us after that. So just to remind you all that we will be having conversation today after we get our homework for tomorrow. So let's request stay with us till 8:30. It will be a very nice session. Thank you. And now let's listen to Didi.
Om Shanti. Should I ask or not? How is everyone doing? Everyone is okay on journey? Let me see hands. Is everyone okay? Yeah? A lot of people have travel sickness also. When they I remember when first time I went to Mount Abu. So one of the Dadi, her name was Bhuri Dadi, and her duty was to receive all of us at the train station, and she will buy vegetables to carry. So she will hire this kind of little truck, and she will put all the vegetables, and then she will come for us at the platform to receive us. And so that those days we didn't carry a lot of luggage, but we needed bedding also in the train. So we will have little bedding, little suitcase. She will get a porter, put them in that little truck, and it's in the middle. They have all the baskets of vegetables, and on the sides were seats for passengers. So we all will sit there and hold tight because, first time when you go up the mountain, there are so many turns and some are very steep ones. So we will hold tight, and but then there is a lot of travel sickness. So they say two things. One is she had brought the lemon cut in half and some salt. And second thing she said, but don't look anywhere. Just either close eyes or just see straight. Don't look on, sometimes we want to do sight seeing like how it is. And she said, no, that will create sickness. So anyway, we learned, and I think now when we go, I don't feel I am okay when I arrive. And I remember that one time Baba just suddenly asked me to come. I was young, maybe 22, and Baba said, child, come. Now, in those days, you can't take another person because many reasons. So I said, okay, I bought the ticket, and it was in those days there was first class, second class, third class. So we always used to buy third class. So third class means crowded, people of all kinds. So anyway, I happened to get a corner seat alone, and I just wrapped myself, and it was night travel, and I said, okay. So I reached Mount Abu. Train used to arrive in the morning, and then so went up and had shower and everything. So Baba called me to meet and also tell me why he has invited. So anyway, it's a long story, but Baba said, how are you feeling after your travel? I said, Baba, I think I am okay. And of course, I didn't sleep, but I am okay. So then Baba gave me blessing that whenever you will travel, you will be okay. Like Jagdish Bhai got for his writing. So I realized that how important it is to get blessings from Baba for this kind of spiritual journey also. Because there are many steep turns and many times, whether sanskars, energy, atmosphere, it can block our way, where intellect might find little bit tiring. Sometimes it's little bit wandering, or as Dadi Janki said, certain subtle doubts or questions can come in the intellect because it's a journey with the intellect. No, that is why it is said remembrance, and then it's again the intellect, and also then pilgrimage. Now going to the trips, like I had used to go every holidays in India with the family to different trips. But going to Mount Abu and to different trips was very different. So our pilgrimage is also always a sacred journey. That means either you're going to temples or some holy place or to meet a holy person. So that's called like going to pilgrimage. Going on ordinary trips is important. So that's why I was asking how you all doing. Because you start noticing in a very subtle way what your intellect is going through. It's not just question of pulls, but sometimes intellect see a very steep turn. Sometimes it looks up and say, "Oh wow, its destination is quite far or high." It is also distance, but also the height. So intellect can kind of subtly, go through various stages. But that's where Dadi Janki gave us a good yukti that when there is faith, then you are very, very stable and, your stability, you are immovable. So immovable is emotionally remain untouched, and stability is when there are different situations, circumstances. Don't allow your intellect to have even subtle doubts or anything. So when there is stability, then there are no doubts. Then intellect is powerful and has strength. So I'm sharing this because today whole day I was kind of supervising, watching, or looking at the intellect. Amazingly, that how, as it is so subtle, so it's also sensitive. It has a receiving capacity. Intellect has lot of power. It has understanding capacity. It has remembrance capacity. So intellect has many capacities. And then you see how when you are really on journey, then how many little big interferences are there, and then you start noticing where I need to change. When you go to trip, don't carry everything or whole house or business, right? You carry whatever you could carry little, unless you have your own plane, right? But we not going on our own plane. So when I'm traveling, then I have to carry whatever minimum I need, but rest I actually book it, right? You give to airlines or whichever transport you are using. But just imagine when I'm giving all my baggage to airline, I have to trust, right? That I will get when I arrive there. And sometimes it does happen, you don't get. So we always try to carry one change of clothes and everything in the carry-on so that it's with me. So I was really going through all that what I need to take carry on, what I need to transfer. But I like the way Baba explains that first of all, it's very important to establish yourself in self-religion or peace. Baba says, Swadhar mein tik jao. Just be peaceful. Make your intellect peaceful. And a very good example of spider. I don't know how many of you have seen the very beautiful web which spider creates. So sometimes it's like a nice net, and then it swallows it. So Baba is saying that same way, whether it is the web of relationships, uncle, auntie, son, grandson, this one. Sometimes people say my head spins. Which one now you saying again? No, there are so many from mother's side, father's side, uncle's side. So maternal uncle, paternal uncle, this nephew, that. One time someone said nephew, then said cousin. I said, but what's the difference? Because it's long time I haven't. So that means there is such a web of relationship. And then there is such a web of our, what we have. Some people have money. No, they have money at 10 places, right? Someone recently left body and his wife said, I even don't know where he invested, where, which bank, because there's so many, because they don't want to keep, it's not safe. And so they put here, they give to this one, that one. And then what happens? The intellect really goes to all the places. So if I have to go on this sacred trip and pilgrimage, so what I have to do? Uh, like spider, whatever web I have spread, I have to swallow it completely. Swallowing is what? Uh, I have all relationships with Baba, with that faith and trust, and this faith that Baba as companion will be with me and will take care of me. Because on this journey you don't have any companions, Baba, right? That's what the remembrance is about, that I am in remembrances. And whatever is there, uh, today I was thinking about Brahma Baba, that when Brahma Baba left, uh, the day he left, he gave his hand in Dadi Prakash Mani's hand. And it was so beautiful because she was the right candidate. She was worthy. So Dadi Prakash Mani took care of whole yagya. And everything, in the beginning, of course, he created trust where all the buildings and all the money, everything was taken care of by this trust. And he knew because all those became dadis, right? And they were so honest, they were so trustworthy that anything they had in mind was Baba and Yagya. Or nothing personal. They never thought of themselves. Really. So how he planned in such a way that everything, so that his intellect, it's not that you shouldn't have, but if you are sensible, you will see that who is the air soul and who is the one who, whatever we trust them with, will be using it in a trustworthy way, in a worthwhile way. So I was really thinking about, because I always feel that if we have to follow Baba, then I have to follow at all steps. That's why I always ask every instrument, where are your air souls? Because there are some, they do everything I have to do. I sign the checks, I take care of this, I will do this. But while you are living, so what is swallowing? All relationships with one Baba, and also whatever responsibilities I have, whether as a householder or as a center instrument, then I have to follow Brahma Baba, where I'm swallowing my web in such a way that it's not destroyed, but in such a way I live in such a way that whatever I have now is Baba's, but also if it is Baba's, then you have to create proper air soul, proper way where your intellect is not pulled, right? That's important for everyone, right? So how that intellect doesn't pull, so you can continue on your sacred journey. Otherwise, it will keep pulling you towards money, towards relationship, towards this. And that pilgrimage, there will not be the connection of remembrance and pilgrimage. That means you are sitting then in remembrance of Baba, but you will not be able to ascend. You will not be traveling towards your destination. So anyway, go into very subtle aspect of remembrance and pilgrimage. So today I was really kind of experiencing, churning, I have to be in remembrance. Am I traveling or I'm stuck? So sometimes you just say, oh, I'm tired, let me sit. And you sit, and then you could sit long or get stuck. That shouldn't happen. I should continue on my pilgrimage. So that's why word pilgrimage is that am I moving forward, getting more and more, as Baba said, that you swallow that web. So, but then also spiritual um, tower, very interesting, right? Lighthouse, spiritual lighthouse. I am in remembrance, but spinning the cycle, Swa-darshan chakra. So many think what it means. So now when you look at a lighthouse, what you see this light spinning all the time, go round and round and round. I think most of you must have seen it. Why it is? Because there are ships all around in the ocean, and they are approaching or they are looking for direction and destination. First they're looking for direction, but they're looking for direction to reach the destination, right? So it's very interesting when you look around. So if you are in a boat or a ship and you see this lighthouse, and of course the captain must know definitely how to catch that direction from that light. So when direction means it will take you to destination if you get lost. So that is why Baba said that in Murli you get directions. And when you get directions, then you know you are on pilgrimage and you will reach to destination. Otherwise you will be lost. There could be wandering. You could start losing where it is. Where am I now? Where am I going? You know, these very subtle, what Dadi Janki described, they are doubts. Even subtly lost, like, oh, where I am going now? What is my destination? Am I okay or not? You know? So all these thoughts could come. So Swa-darshan Chakradhari, Baba said, is becoming spiritual lighthouse. That requires lot. That why how this becomes a spinning light. Swa-darshan Chakradhari. Where I am going. And of course, as Dadi said, that faith, where you are very, very stable, like tower. First your tower, then you will be Swa-darshan Chakradhari. So my faith should be unshakable, and I should spin and keep that vision of myself from confluence age. I'm returning home, and from home, then I come to golden age. So if you keep in your intellect where I am going, I'm going home. Swadharma Shanti will take me to home. And then where are we going? In the golden age. That is our destination. So if we have Swadarshan Chakra, spinning light, then there will not be wandering, but there will be remembrance. So even on journey to have remembrance, not wandering. Will I make it in time? Am I going in right direction? So I always look both ways, spiritually, the stage of Brahma Baba, how he did it. And also I look at physical way, how properly when it comes to uh, taking care of yagya, taking care of whatever, so that whatever I have, I've seen sometimes what you have, if you don't plan properly, it goes in the wrong hands, goes waste. Even if your intentions are good, okay, I want to use it for Baba, but you're not doing it in the right way. So I always think of how Brahma Baba did it. And really, wherever I am, I think that way. So it's very simple that how spider spreads the web and swallows it. But for us also, look at Brahma Baba, because for us, he is the spiritual lighthouse. I look at Brahma Baba, then I look at Dadis, each Dadi, whether Dadi Prakashmani, then Dadi Janki, Dadi Gulzar, each Dadi, how they were spiritual lighthouses. So I have also to be a spiritual lighthouse, and that means tower in the ground, but spinning the light, that is being Swadershan Chakradhari. So it's very, very beautiful to think of becoming a spiritual tower, lighthouse, but also be on journey and always remember I am on pilgrimage. Remembrance and remember that I am on journey. These are two things. It's not that remembrance is journey in itself. It is, because it's cleansing you, removing your rust, removing your alloy. So it's very, very interesting, and many souls are sharing that how, since we are paying attention to Murli, how so many points are really coming in their intellect, but also when you have to experience them, practice and experience, listen, practice and experience, then so many clarity comes. And I find Dadi Janki, when she speaks before, or any Dadi, they give you each word of that is like a direction, what we have to do. So intellect should also be able to take full benefit of every word which our ancestor souls say, because these are the proven words, in the sense of they are the proof, they are the examples. So for me, every word that he speaks, I immediately relate, and it seems they are also traveling with us. I always feel our ancestor souls are also with us like Baba. So I'm sharing my experiences, and I'm sure tomorrow also when you do your homework, do it like when you practically uh, do it in the sense of practice. Lot of different experiences come, but also then you relate to what Dadis are saying. You relate to Baba's Murlis in a practical way. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So now we'll get our point for tomorrow. Listen, practice, experience. Would like to invite Brother Ken, and then our dear Brother Eric will be with us.
Hello. Om Shanti, everyone. Yes, it was so lovely listening to Didi's sharing about going up the mountain. All of us have fond memories. I remember I first went there. It was in 75. I was the only foreigner there. And it was just 6 years after Brahma Baba left the body. So everything was so simple. And the road was just one track, really. So it was really quite adventurous to go up the mountain. And again, I can relate to the thing of keeping your mind straight ahead and not getting sort of upset, your stomach upset by the rocking of the car, because the road wasn't very level. And of course, arriving at the top of the mountain is such a symbol, isn't it? That we are going on a journey, and the destination is very elevated. And there are lots of winding, turning, bends and ups and downs, but we never in any moment are not on that journey. So I love this expression, it's a sacred journey. And it's something that the intellect has to do, using all of its capacity. So today was such a beautiful day, and I'm sure you've all had such an experience too, because the Murli is the source of our life. It's the oxygen for us. It's the source of all of our advance in our spiritual stage. So at Amrit Vela, removing all the complications from the intellect. Today I had to take a vaccine. So, you know, there's so much stories going around about the vaccine. I just put that all to the side and let me do what I have to do. So Amrit Vela was preparing me for the day. And as I said, the first day we used the Murli as a map. The second day, building material to build our stage. And another way to listen to the Murli is to look for the tips from Baba. And today was looking for tips from Baba for the spiritual journey, for the pilgrimage, for remembrance. And when you go into the Murli looking for something, you go into the Murli with an aim, with a feeling, an openness. Then you're sitting there waiting for Baba to tell you that thing, to give you that hint, to give you that tip, to give you that direction. And then, of course, the Murli becomes much more interesting. If you're just sitting there not thinking about anything or just waiting for Baba to say something, it's good if you know your stage, you know what you're going through. So let me listen to some tips from the Father. And I was just, there were so many tips. For example, this thing that Didi was talking about, the web, swallowing in the web of all of our useless thinking, all of the relationships, because it's not just the bodily relationships, the way we relate to matter, to the world, all of the things. So all of that we have to go beyond, because when I die, the world's dead for me. This was another huge tip. It doesn't mean that I have to ignore my bodily relations or the body, but I have to see them from the perspective of the soul. This is the week on the soul. So how does the soul see bodily relations, and how does the soul see the body? Because I have to go back home, I have to go to the golden age. I have to destroy the sins. This whole context of the cycle tells me that nothing is more important than doing this. So no wandering, no doubts, as Daddy was saying before, and of course Didi picked it up. So these three words, the key words, really open up for me just to okay, what's the connection between these things? Remembrance, intellect, pilgrimage. And I have to say that when I put these charts together with the key words, I took out, because if we leave these words in, the three main words in every Murli are Father, children, and soul. And so I excusably removed that to see what was coming up in second place, you know. Because otherwise every Murli was Father, children, soul, Father, children, soul. These are the three maiden words in every Murli. But keeping those in mind, and of course taking them, that's, of course they have to be there, but what is around Father, children, and soul? And so if we can put up the chart for tomorrow, like the Murli that's coming up tomorrow. Just a sec. Yeah, that's it. So you get an idea. The key words are, just a sec. Attitude, soul, and holy swan. So you get an idea already just with those three words what the Murli is about. But of course we have to listen to it. And I think it's good if we listen to the Murli. What is Baba going to tell me? Just as how to be a successful pilgrim today was the hints and the tips in the Murli. But tomorrow, what is Baba going to tell me to strengthen my spiritual stage and my relationship with others? That's enough to start there in a very active listening mode and waiting for Baba to say the right things and give us the right directions. So if we can put up the homework, the listening practice and experience, and then I'll talk about traffic control that I've selected out. So let's identify, when we're listening to the Murli, identify 3 points in the Murli that will strengthen my attitude and vision of being a holy swan, and practice during the whole day. The way we see others and the way that we interact with them, of course, that's what Baba says. Smriti, Stiti, Vritti, and so on. Drishti, Kriti, and so on, is like the state of consciousness. Sets up the mental state. The mental state sets up the attitude, and the attitude sets up the vision, and the vision sets up the action. So what are these internal postures that I need to have, that I face things, I interact with people, and this is what an attitude is. It's like an internal mental posture. So how do I set myself up so that the vision that comes out of me is pure, that I don't even see the bad things about others, even being aware of them, that doesn't hit me. I always remember that when I was in Hungary, the words are written in Roman script, like we can read the letters, but I couldn't understand a word. So in the same way, bad things are happening, negative things are happening, but they don't register in me because I'm going through this cleansing process. So what are the 3 points? Just get 3 points, that's enough to really work on, to strengthen my attitude and vision of being a holy swan. And at the traffic control, just anyone who comes to mind in that, until the next traffic control, anyone. So you set up the attitude so that anyone who comes to my mind or comes in front of me, from one traffic control to the next, anyone who comes into mind until the next traffic control, I will see that one with a vision of a holy swan. So practicing from one traffic control to the next, the pure vision. And finally, of course, at the end of the day, when we're going to do our chart, just as tonight we're going to look at how successful a spiritual pilgrim we were. So tomorrow night, how successful was my pure soul conscious vision today? So that's the homework for tomorrow, everyone. Good efforts to everyone. Om Shanti. I am a clean and pure soul. Past is past. I am a clean and pure soul. Past is past. So enjoy that. Thank you, everyone. So let's move on. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Welcome to Avyakti Journey, Avyakti Parivar Chit Chat, sharing from the heart that touches the heart.
Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening, good day. Hello, Brother Ken.
Hello, my brother.
So you're not done yet. See, my role is to come and ask questions. So you are not done. Wanted to greet you. We really enjoy the fact that you can join. No, it's chit chat from the heart, but I'm touching 2 hearts tonight. So happy to touch yours. And I can't forget your lucky background as a chemist, and wondering when will be the night when you say that the Murli is also like a laboratory in which you extract secret substances to make perfume.
Oh, for sure that will come up. That
It will come
definitely
up.
be there. Yeah.
And we look forward to the recipe of how we're going to create Baba number 5 or Baba number 8 as a cologne, as a perfume.
The fragrance.
A new fragrance, Baba number 8. And you've been playing with those jewels for so long. I was wondering, you've been hearing these Murli so many times now. When you listen to the Murli or when you churn it, what are you still looking for in understanding? If you understand already everything, what are you trying to extract from it even today? After even churning them all, from one side to the other, what are you trying to get from it even today for yourself?
Well, let me tell you, let me be quite honest. Don't remember my previous churnings. I'm sort of alive and attentive in that, because the Murli is something alive for me. It's not dead. So my churnings from another Murli, they were at that time. So it's fresh for me. It's fresh material for me to work on, fresh ideas for me to work on. And I have to associate with my day, what's going on, the particular spiritual interests that I have. I'll get the answers from there. Whatever I'm working on in myself or in a project in service, Baba will tell me about it. So it's a fresh thing. So I'm not thinking about old churnings. I'm thinking about today.
And what do you expect how do you want to use the churnings or the essence of the Murli for yourself? Do you have like specific goals, like reaching a certain stage of silence or deepening the understanding of the soul still? Or where do you focus what you extract from the Murli on?
I don't know. I have the feeling that I have to make this day complete. I'm not thinking about tomorrow or where I'm going to go from here. But if I have a great day today, the chance is that I have also a great day tomorrow. So if I have a great moment now, I'll have more great moments. So I'm not really concerned about where I'm going. I'm just trying to be as full as I can be now here. Because the only real time we have is the present, right? Happiness is not some future event, right? It's something we have to have coming out of us now. So I try to do that, that's all. I don't have great pretensions.
So stay with us. We're going to invite Mohini Didi to join us. And I know it's always lovely when we can chit chat like this so easily without having to travel to Brazil, or I know it's a bit late for Ken, but in a little click of a mouse and we're all together, which is the beauty of this technology. The question I'm maybe really wondering about, Kenbai, is, when we heard Brahma Baba calling a court in the evening of his mind, intellect, sanskars, and he was like the big king calling on the 3 faculties. Do you feel sometimes there's like almost a 4th dimension that we kind of try to explain or understand as who sees the soul when we are soul conscious? Who sees the soul? Is it the mind, intellect, sanskar, or is it one of these vritti, triti, smriti, one of those?
Well, I don't know. Let me be quite honest. I don't know the answer to that question. But I have a feeling that in the golden age, those 3 faculties will be completely integrated. There won't be a mind going one way and intellect doing something else, and the sanskar in a 3rd direction. I'll just be one functioning thing. So there's not much to decide, right? The mind is just registering everything that's happening in real time. There's no separation, no sense of separation. So I'm trying to get to a stage where those 3 things are actually so integrated that there's no difference.
Mohini Didi, any thought on when we say I'm soul conscious and I'm aware of the soul, is it, where is that awareness sitting that can look at the mind, intellect, sanskaras, like Brahma Baba was ruling the self as a big king. How do you feel about being soul conscious, and who is conscious of the soul?
Brother Ken will stay or he has to go?
He will listen a little bit and then he will say good night.
Yeah, whenever he... two thoughts coming in the mind. One is that, we talk about intellect also as third eye and third eye of knowledge, and that the awareness there that I am a soul, or then seeing within the soul. Within the soul means about thoughts, about power to discern, about past sanskars. But then as in total, the soul is consciousness, right? So consciousness is awareness, and then there is third eye. So as if soul is watching itself, no? Is the soul, which is conscient, is looking at oneself. That means it's like I have all parts of the body. So I, soul, of course, through the eyes or feelings, I say these are my organs, right? So it is the soul actually who is looking. Within the soul, soul is not looking at something else, but within the self, one's own abilities, right? So soul, because it's living being, has capacity through awareness to observe itself or one's own self.
Interesting. And Kenbai, the question came because of your image of Peace Village, of this bouquet in the middle. And when you were sharing of how you look at all the bodies, and I know you've been sharing with us before how you look at all our 84 bodies, thinking I'm none of those, but I'm the soul. I was just, having the thought, this is such an interesting idea that the soul sees itself, or the soul is aware of itself.
I think that's the main difference between the soul and matter. Matter is not aware of its own existence.
It's very subtle aspect though, as you are raising this question.
Use my intellect to organize the intellect. I'll use my thinking to organize my thoughts. That sort of thing. I can do that because the soul is a unique sort of entity. Unique.
So we'll keep you on that thought, Kenbai. I know you have to sleep, and I know that hopefully in your sleep you will not be trying to answer those questions anymore. So I wish you a very nice sleep.
Well, the thing is, I had a vaccine shot today, and I'm not feeling great. So
yeah, you need to rest.
And that was the first shot, right? Because the second time, I saw they say.
No, but one of the nurse advised one of the sister when she went for second shot, which they say generally creates reaction for 2-3 days, temperature, all that. And she said, nurse told her, just go and sleep. As long as you can sleep, nothing will happen. So this sister came home and just slept. And next morning, she's up, active, no fever, nothing. So I'm going for second, so I'm following that direction. But yes, I will be present in the evening. But so I thought to tell you that was a very good thing to know that nurse gave advice. But Brother Eric, your question is very deep and subtle. That means, how do I look within myself, right? And I am the one as a soul looking within, So I think this needs to be explored and experiment in a way. How really who sees the soul? It's the soul seeing the soul because it's a living being. But what soul is seeing is one's own abilities, observing it, functioning it, using it, checking it, whatever it is, it's a very, very beautiful thing to go more in depth of that concept. Who is seeing, right?
The reason I was also asking the question is because I know we want to look at the Murli this week as the context of the soul, how the Murli helps us.
Right.
And, I was, when we heard that Gulzar, I think it was 2 days ago, explaining it's not Baba, it's my Baba. And she used such a very simple example with the handkerchief. It's just a handkerchief, but it's your handkerchief. Or you lose 5 rupee and then another one lose lack of rupees. You'll still remember your rupees because they are yours. So I keep wondering, how did Daddy Gulzar's mind and intellect, so precise and such a simple example, and it seems I feel the full truth in that simplicity. But when I start churning myself, I make it a little bit more complicated and I get lost into my churning. But I'm really focusing on, if the first lesson that Shiv Baba told us was about the soul, and we know the ultimate truth will be about being fully aware of ourselves as a soul. I'm very curious about that awareness of the soul consciousness, the soul being conscious of itself. And I find it's a fascinating one, because almost as if physically we cannot see our face until we use a mirror. And I'm wondering if the soul can really see itself without using the knowledge.
So knowledge is the mirror, no? Baba always says, knowledge is the mirror. But then when you become soul conscious, then you can see, right? Before, yes, of course, we need mirror of knowledge, but a time comes when I don't need that mirror. No, because I now know myself. I'm in soul consciousness. So consciousness becomes, like before there was body consciousness, now I'm in soul conscious. So I can see myself. Before, of course, through knowledge, but now through, I can just go within, introverted, and through my third eye, I can just look at my own self, I think we should really do that, Amrit Vela, and see, can I see myself and how clearly I am? And that is why when Baba says, have a clear intellect. So maybe first thing is, through your clear and clean intellect, look at your own self, could be very, very good, good feelings, I feel.
Mm-hmm. I know we don't have much time, because now this has become like in television, we call this a magazine show, where there's so many segments, they call it a magazine, television magazine. So we're into a magazine format, and I don't want to go over the time. And I was listening to you, and I just had my dinner before you started sharing about swallowing your web. So my stomach was feeling a bit funny, because I just had dinner and I was imagining swallowing my web as a dinner, and it didn't work. But so I won't go there. But the last little question for you is, when you were listening to Brahma Baba and the knowledge was being given through Brahma Baba, is there a fragrance or a truth that you saw or you heard there, which is not there when we read the paper or when we churn, but do you remember what was the feeling of that truth being spoken at the time?
One is that because when we take few lessons, we come to know that Shiv Baba is speaking through Brahma Baba. So when I went first time to Madhuban, my focus is, while listening, looking at center of Brahma Baba's head. In the forehead, I'm really like Shiv Baba is talking to me through Brahma Baba. So it will be surprising. There are two things. One is what I'm listening, other is what I'm seeing. And the seeing was like, once in a while, like you have a bulb with a low voltage, and then there is other one which goes, lights up with more light because there is more voltage. So I will see how Shiv Baba comes and then enters in Brahma Baba. I don't see how it enters, but I could see in the center of forehead that now Shiv Baba is talking to me, knowing that he is God and he is the truth and he is my father, and also at this time he is my teacher. With all that awareness, when I'm listening, then as I said, every word which was spoken. And as I said yesterday, full concentration, because I'm sitting in front here and I am so absorbed in listening to Baba that I won't move. Murli used to be like about half an hour, 40 minutes, because Mama used to come, then Baba 40 minutes. By 7 o'clock, 5 past 7, Murli will finish. But it's like, Baba talks about absorbing, taking that drop by drop. And I feel that what happens when you really listen in soul consciousness with that looking at God, then knowledge is not just in your intellect, it becomes your faith, it becomes your power, it becomes your trust, love. Same time is changing into, some kind of deep attainments. And I remember when Mama used to say that you don't have to only listen, but you can be same time become embodiment of knowledge. She used to say, listen and become Sarup. Sarup means same time while listening. It's not you say, okay, later on I will think about it. So that was my experience, that when you're listening to Baba or listening to Dadis, actually it touches you because it's so true. Not only true in theory, but because they have practiced it, they have experienced that, and they sharing it touches in such a way that it becomes part of, like you remember it, you start doing it naturally. So of course, listening to True Brahma Baba was very, very much more becoming like Sarup, because whatever he said, he had put in practice. His example of that, Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba both. So Shiv Baba is sharing, Brahma Baba is demonstrating, illustrating, whatever we call it. So it's just you become that same time, I feel whatever I became maybe at that time, I'm just sustaining that, for rest of my Brahmin life.
I'm hearing the intoxication of a gopi. I feel we're all becoming, talking about the Murli, we're already the living gopis. And even listening to Brother Ken, we may be in brothers' bodies, but I think by talking about the Murli for a whole month, it will become like a big dance of gopis sharing their experience of, feeling intoxicated with the magic of the flute. So it's very, very beautiful.
Yeah,
I would have many more questions, but I have to wait 1 week every time. I can't finish with the question. I say, okay, I have to wait 1 more week, and then the questions change. So
we should give you more time, but
no, it's okay.
It's very interesting. My thought to take this topic was really that for us as Baba's children, our scripture, our source, our strength, truth finding, solution, answers, directions, all are in Murli. So how do we find it and not just read Murli as reading? Like some people say, oh, I read Murli. While in the train, I read Murli. So it has become more like a ritual. Oh, today I read Murli. But then how do we, even if there is short time, but how Murli becomes like what sustains us, like food, so much attention on what to eat, what not to eat. But same will become for intellect. Then we don't pick up information here, explanation here, or experiences from different and interpretation based on that. But how do I find that truth myself? And that is why I remember Dadi, and he used to tell me that even you listen to me, but you also chant. I said, because that will be my strength, so kind of, but then I look kind of many times find that, oh, what I'm thinking, she's thinking, or she will also say, oh. So as we then grow together, then we start saying that our reflections, our directions, when we talk about it, is almost same. And that becomes very affirmative, kind of like, oh, that's good. We are together on journey. That's why we are thinking on the same lines, So there is a lot of experiences will come during this month, I feel.
It was one of the question I had also, but you can explain it during the next few days. Was, one day you mentioned that some, when they share the knowledge, it sounds a little bit like out of tune, or maybe, in a sense like they're twisting the knowledge a little bit. And you were sharing many times, we have to stay with the original truth, the original knowledge. And so I'd be really, really curious for you to tell us, how do we know that our churning is accurate? How do we know that the way we are churning and expressing and giving the knowledge is keeping aligned with the truth? So maybe that's for next Saturday or in the week. I look forward to hear from you on that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mohini Didi. It's always really lovely. Now, because it was last Friday, I felt it was almost a month since we had our little heart-to-heart conversation. So glad to be back on a weekly basis. And I look forward to be with you again next Saturday. So big thank you and good night. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Good night, Brother Eric. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much to our three angels, Brother Ken, Brother Eric, and our Didi, of course. So it was interesting to chat and we all enjoyed. So thank you from Hello Vikti Parivar.
Om Shanti. Good night. Enjoy your pilgrimage. Continue with loveful remembrance of Baba. Very easy. Om Shanti and good night again.
शुक्रिया
Ajab Yakti Parivar.
शांति दीदी, yes.